And we are live. Welcome, family, to another show. As you know, on Mondays, I like to do interviews from Passport Bros from all around the world. So I got a really cool guest today. He's been to 33 countries so far. I'm going to introduce him after the commercial ad I'm going to play. And guys going to bring up a lot of good information. It's very important if you decide on traveling to get as much information as possible. A lot of guys start traveling, kind of not know where to go, and they put themselves in sketchy situations, or they don't like what country they go to, so they decide not to travel as much because they just didn't have the right knowledge or information. So, like I say, every Monday, I like to bring on a passport bro that can really give us some good information on their travels. All right. So we're gonna be right back after these ads.
Y'all haven't downloaded the app yet? Y'all go download the Passport Bros app, man. Shout out to BMT. Shout out to the Passport Bros, man. This is something special. Everybody should get on it. We got our own social network now.
All right, man, look, I don't know, y'all missing out, man. Look, if you want any information, if you want to be a part of a community, be a part of like a brotherhood, man, and people watch out for you, whether it's entrepreneurs, YouTubers, or anything you really want to get into, man, y'all need to download that app, man, Passport Bros.
Only Passport Bro app, download it, BMT, dropping a platform for everybody to be social on. So get that, copy that.
All right, man, it's your boy Average Man Unplugged. Make sure you hit the Passport Bro app. We got all our content on there. We got our own network now, you guys, all right? So go check that out, man. Passport Bro app. Make sure you download it.
See, I'm repping that BMT. No matter where I go, no matter where I be.
Some of them seats in, some of them front kicks in, and I'm still cooling, you know what I'm saying? I'm still cool, I ain't busting sweat. You know, that's what it is. Yoga, Passport Bros.
Passport Bros up.
Travelversity in the building. Shout out to my boy BMT, man. Yeah, go cop the new merch.
All right. We back in here, man. Well, welcome to the show. My brother Daryl D in the building. What's good?
Oh,
What's good? Morning. How's everything going with you?
oh, it's great.
That's what's going on, man. So you hit me up, bro. You've been to 33 countries so far.
Yes.
So what initially got you started and interested in travel?
What I really liked history class when I was, in high school, and it was like frustrating when I would look at all these places. Like you see the pyramids in the history book, you see like Mona Lisa, you see all these places, and it's kind of like a thing where everybody around you is saying the same thing, like, oh, you're not gonna be able to, like, you just kind of understand you're not gonna be able to go.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm thinking, why can't I go? Like, what? Nothing is stopping me from going.
Mm-hmm.
So by the time, once you start like, getting out of that high school age, you see what like stuff actually costs, then it's like, damn, how can I pay for this ticket's $1,000 to go here and stuff like that. So that's when I end up joining the military, and I got stationed in Japan, and then from there it just kind of snowballed where I was able to like see more countries that way.
Okay, so you joined the military, and that kind of got your feet wet, getting out as far as traveling.
Yeah.
So how was it? Was it like a big culture shock when you moved to Japan?
For Japan specifically, no, because I was already like big into anime and stuff like that already. So that was just like luck of the draw because I wanted to go to Japan and I just got stationed there. So that was just complete luck because I didn't get to I didn't choose my station. It was just
Mhm.
I just got lucky on that one. But going to Europe was more like culture shock. Well, not like
Mhm.
England, but like more like the Spain and like Germany, just these things. Because at this time, because this is my first kind of like solo trip without the military, was Europe.
Mhm.
And at this time they didn't have like all the like phone plans you have now where you could just like have service all over the place. So I'm doing everything with screenshots, like Google Maps, and just going around and then getting lost and all this other stuff, and sleeping in hostels. And I don't know, like some airports
Mhm.
close, they're not 24 hours. So like I book a flight and it's like 5 in the morning, but I didn't book a hotel because I thought, oh, I'll just sleep in the airport, like all these kind of things.
Mhm.
Mm.
So would you suggest for like my younger brothers that, maybe getting out of high school or might be in that college age range, would you suggest for them to join the military if they would like to travel, or it's much more than that?
Um, it depends on the because you would like, I guess with all the branches you could travel, but
Mhm.
it's kind of hard to gauge that because you could end up stationed in like El Paso or something and not
Mhm.
get like the overseas because maybe you don't choose, because there's a lot that goes into like you could look at what jobs get sent to which bases and maybe kind of like narrow your chances that way. But
Mhm.
if you stay in long enough, you will travel. Uh,
Mhm. Mhm.
but like maybe if you only want to do the one and done, like the 3 years or 4 years, it's kind of hard to gauge. Like, okay, will you be overseas? But I mean, there's still good opportunities there.
Okay. And right now you're currently in Kazakhstan. Is that how you pronounce it?
I'm in Kazakhstan, but yes.
Kazakhstan. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Interesting, man. And like I say, I did date a girl briefly from there back in Thailand, but I'm not really familiar. What general area is this over there? Is this like considered to be more so Europe, Asia? Where we at on the globe?
So it's Central Asia, but
Hmm.
yeah, so it's basically Asia. Like it's kind of like this blank space. Like my whole
Hmm.
life, it's just this blank space. Like we learn about China and we learn a little bit about Turkey, and then we know about
Hmm.
Russia. But all this like in under like Russia, we don't learn about, and then under that is India, and we're just like all these countries kind of like don't exist, but
Hmm.
it's technically Central Asia. But yeah, it's like, but because of the Russian influence from Soviet Union and all these things,
Hmm.
it's like the culture is kind of mixed.
Okay. Okay. I want to give a shout out to everybody that's in the chat up in here early with us. I also want to give a shout out for my man Flight Matters with the $5 super chat. Guys, go check out his channel. He's over there in China. I did an interview with him a couple of weeks ago. He has a lot of good information. And he also has a bag, a luxury toiletry bag brand as well called Luxology. He's going to be one of the first products on the Passport Bros app on the vendor side. So I want to give a shout out to my man Denny Dixon, who goes by Flight Madness now with the $5 chat, man. I really appreciate that. He says, I linked up with Daryl in Thailand. Okay, and he had a Kazakhstanian baddie on his arm. Super knowledgeable guy when it comes to credit and Kazakh travel. So let's talk about that, man. So you've been moving around. Just give us kind of a rundown of what countries you've been to. We'll go back to
Ooh,
Kazakhstan.
okay, let me. Well, I think actually I made a list. Let me pull it up. Yeah, let me go.
Okay.
Let me. Let's go. Because my goal is to hit all countries. So it's now when I look at like the amount and like maybe some places need visas. Now I'm thinking like, wow, I got a lot of work to
Mm-hmm.
do. Where's my notes?
Mm-hmm.
And 2020. Aha. So Afghanistan, Azerbaijan, Bahrain, Brazil, Canada, China.
Mm-hmm.
Cuba, I have an asterisk because I was in Guantanamo Bay. So it's like it's Cuban soil, but it's not really Cuba. And then Egypt, Ethiopia, France, Germany, Iraq, Ireland, Italy, Japan, Kazakhstan, South Korea, Kuwait, Malaysia, Netherlands, Peru, Portugal, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Serbia, and the thumbnail is actually me in Serbia at a castle, and then Spain, Sweden, Taiwan, Thailand, Turkey, UAE, and UK,
Hmm.
and now Uzbekistan. So I got to add that. Yeah. So
Wow, that's a lot. That's a lot of countries, man. Let me catch a super chat real quick by Big Noble Royalty, $2 super chat, man. I really appreciate that. He says El Paso lit Mexican women on deck. All right. He's out there in El Paso, man. Shout out to you. Appreciate the super chat, Big Noble Royalty. Now, I'm not really one to try to compare the countries because I realize that countries are very vastly different from each other, and each country has their ups and downs. Basically, it's good points and it's kind of like it's negative points and whatnot. But if you had to narrow it down to your top three, what would your top three be at this point?
Japan is always number one for me.
Mhm.
And then it's so hard because like Thailand is so great, but then I just feel like it's so overrun. Like there's still beautiful places, of course. Like you can still go like up north or south. Like you don't have to always go to like, Bangkok and Phuket and these places. But I really like Malaysia because it's like almost like all the good things Thailand has, but
Mhm.
a little bit less like overrun because it's not like so many people and like not so many countries have like that direct flight to Bangkok, like because like Bangkok is such a hub.
Mhm.
So like that, but it's hard to like because like Thailand is just Thailand. Like you can't say really anything bad other than like there's so many people going there. Like that's like really the only negative. And then and then just here, Kazakhstan. I mean,
So you would put Kazakhstan up there.
yes.
Okay, so what's the general like? You say it's the mix. It's kind of a mixed bag as far as ethnicities up there. But what's the general population? What do they look like?
So I guess they for us like Americans or something, they would just look like Asian. Like they would look East Asian
Mhm.
until like I guess you get more familiar eyes and you can compare like the differences.
Mhm.
But like Kazakh people, because of this history with Genghis Khan coming across, all the way over across to almost to Turkey, I think. So he kind of spread his seed like this way. So like
Mhm.
they it's like this, but yeah, Kazakhs look Asian, but then all the different mixes because during the Soviet Union, to keep
Mhm.
people disorganized, they would just grab like you live here now and you live there, so you'll have like people from different parts of like Russia, or like maybe you're from Kyrgyzstan, now I throw you in Azerbaijan. Maybe you're in Azerbaijan, I throw you here. So then you have these kind of mixes going on.
Okay. I want to give a shout out to my man Kirby P. Films, man. Shout out to you. This is what up, BMT. What up, Kirby? Representing. I had a question for you. A guy asked, hold on, let me see if I can find it.
Oh, do you ask how old I am?
Yeah,
33.
yeah, asked how old. I don't even see the comment no more, but yeah. Okay, Nate asked how old are
Yeah, 33, old
you?
man.
Okay. Okay, so it'd be hard to tell with us, man, because
Yeah.
I did a consultation with a guy. I'm thinking this guy like 25, 26,
Yeah.
and this dude is like my age. I'm just like, damn, black really
It
don't crack, man.
it gives me problems at the airport because like I'm like moving around and like doing stuff, and like I'll
Mhm.
come back from Kazakhstan and they're like, what are you doing there? Like, because like I'm a young guy, or like I got my visa, I got a golden
Mhm.
visa for Taiwan. So I'm in
Mhm.
the embassy of Taiwan in Kuwait, and they're like talking to me like I'm like a kid. And I'm like, no, I'm 33, because they're like, how do you qualify for this visa? And I've been working in like my industry for over 10 years. And they're just like, oh, how old are you? And then I'm like, you can see my passport, how old I am, but they're just looking at the picture and like, oh, he's young. But it's kind of like they're thinking like, I shouldn't be kind of like in these spaces
Mhm.
because I'm like, oh, you're like, you look like you're 20, or like,
Mhm.
or they're always asking me if I'm an athlete when I'm going to these other countries. Like, oh, are you an athlete? I'm like, no, just nerd person.
Hey man, that's so funny. I remember being in Thailand and some Asian guys walked up, to the basketball court, and they want to take pictures and everything, and like they all think you can, an athlete or something. Like, are you Michael
Yeah.
Jordan or something like that? I'm like, no, I'm just a regular black
Yeah.
dude. But let me ask you this, man. What's the headdress? What's that? Is that like a Kazakhstani thing or?
Yeah, so this is called a kalpak.
Okay, okay.
It's like a whole jacket, but I don't. It's like too big. Like even this is too big on me, but I usually put it on like this thing and wear. But they have different styles depending, like if you're Kyrgyz, if you're from Tajikistan, like they all have different like designs and styles, and like some are like really tight and small, and some are like this like pointy or whatever. But
Hmm. Now, do you see any other Afro people in this country or?
it's rare. Like usually it's kind of like maybe like students or something like they're usually from Africa. I only met one like black American. He was in his 60s and his wife was from Uzbekistan, but her family lives in Kazakhstan.
Mhm.
So I just walked up to him in the airport and we are just kind of like, oh, because I didn't see it because I'll go multiple trips because this is my 15th time here. So I'll go on multiple trips and not see any other black people. There
Mhm.
is a Brazilian like bar, and they have like Brazilians, like black Brazilians there working. So it's like the same three or whatever. Like, but other than that, like maybe once or twice I'll see like a couple Africans, but for like Black American, I I've yet to see one.
Wow, wow. Now, like, what's the general perception? Do you feel safe? Is there any type of prejudice out there, or?
Um, I actually feel like really welcomed here, like more than like
Mm.
other countries. Like what? Because I live in Kuwait, and they're like like they'll do me so dirty, and then they see like it's a U.S. passport, then they kind of dress back a little, but still they're kind
Mhm.
of like giving me brush. And like I'm in Egypt, I actually had horrible experience, and I'm like, but this is Africa. Like how are you gonna treat me? This is Africa, like this. But here is the opposite. Like people stop and want to take photos with me. They want to shake my hand. Like they
Mhm.
want to just talk to me. Like they don't know any English, and they just want to like say something. And they know like I mean, like most countries are like this, but they really know like all the music. Like I'm like, damn, you know the song or whatever. Like they'll pull up this song or whatever. What's the
Mhm.
song? It was some Ja Rule song, and I'm like, damn, you guys listen to this back then? They're like, yeah, we have MTV, we love this stuff. Like, what?
But hip hop is so powerful, man. Hip
Yes.
hop is so powerful.
Yeah.
Like that's crazy. And the crazy part about it is like they are hanging on to the older version of hip hop, the classic
Yeah.
golden era, which is such a great thing. I mean, you'll still hear some Cardi B and all that bullshit, but
Yeah.
mostly it's that hip hop area where you see like they got their own Japanese rap. I'm sure you're familiar with
Yeah.
it, right? But a
Yeah.
lot of the cats be like, oh yeah, we fuck with Nas, we like Wu Tang and all that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, but here it's like a different, like, I don't know, like I feel like they don't have any of the negative stereotypes. Like they
Mhm.
don't even get that over here. Like
Mhm.
they're just like they're talking like first they don't believe I'm from America first. So once they realize I'm from America, then it's like wow, sunshine and rainbows, and like then they're
Mhm.
like wow, like and like it's I just feel like welcome. Well,
I want
sometimes
to
it's
give
bad
a
because people want to stand like so close to me, and like like this I feel
mhm.
like they just want to like touch me without saying anything. Like they just want to feel the energy. But
Mhm.
it's like 99% like positive experience.
I want to give a shout out to Jamal Omar. He says, "Damn, next Passport Bro is going to be going to Saturn." Shout out to you, Jamal, man.
Yeah.
Shout out to you. We got a lot of people in the building, man. Appreciate you guys joining us. Saint here says Kazakh people look Asiatic. All right, we got
Yep.
my man Felipe. I believe that's Felipe Lindsay. He says at BMT Travels. What is he is describing is the revived Silk Road, the land freight lanes from Asia to Europe, China has put a ton of infrastructure development into their Belt and Road. Okay.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah, but I mean, because yeah, this is like this whole area, this like Central Asia was like the ancient Silk Road, and now it's kind of being revived. Like so, 2 days ago, or it was in Uzbekistan. The president of Italy was also in the same city. City is called Samarkand, and
Mhm.
because these resources are kind of running out, like the whole world is scrambling. So it was just so strange that I'm like, why is the president of Italy here? Like in Uzbekistan because they want to get these resources. Like it's such like these countries are so cheap compared to like other countries like you would normally think of in Europe and but they're not overrun. So it's kind of like you can get that, you're buying a stock at the bottom. Like it's like a
Mhm.
brand new company, you're getting it before like the IPO almost. Like so because I think the president or is he I'm not sure if it's president or prime minister. I have to look up, but the
Mhm.
leader of the country was in Uzbekistan, and then also the World Boxing Commission? I
Mhm.
think WBC. They
Mhm.
had a big
Mhm.
convention in Tashkent, Uzbekistan. So I actually met Evander Holyfield like yesterday in the hotel,
That's
and just like
crazy.
just like going on. Like he's just because Mike Tyson was supposed to show up too, but I don't know. Like I don't know if he's on, but I was just on the same floor as him, so I just happened to we walked out of the elevator at the same time, but I wouldn't be able to get to him because his whole side of the floor has like security. You have these big like Uzbek or like guys like heavyweight looking guys with trench coats like guarding his door, but it was just like
Mhm.
it was just like this whole place because it's like I don't even know the names of these countries maybe like a year ago, 2 years ago, and then now I'm here, hopping around on the weekend and stuff like that.
Okay, and let's talk about the cost of living there. How much does a one bedroom go for out there, and the food and all that good stuff?
If you want to like buy it, I mean, you'd have to figure out a way to get like the residency in order to get like a bank loan or something like that. But you can get places for um 40K, 50K. If you go outside the city center, probably you could get like a little bit cheaper. And then depending on like the quality, like if it's a new build versus an old build. But this is Almaty, Kazakhstan. If you go to Astana, it can be cheaper because their real estate they have more space there, so they can keep building uh,
Mhm.
out. So it's not as much demand because they can keep building out because they have a lot of empty space. And then if you go to like another city that's not like Almaty, which is not
Mhm.
like because this was the old capital. The new capital is Astana, which used to be called Nur Sultan, which used to be called Astana before that again. So they changed the name and then changed it back to its original name. But
Mhm.
Almaty is like the real capital.
Mhm.
Like it's kind of like we have DC is our capital, but like New York and LA and like these places, New York, LA, Miami, these are like the real popping places, not really like
Mhm. Okay, so you saying depending on what area, the price is
yeah.
different?
Yeah.
Okay.
So like now I'm paying around like a little under 500 a month.
Okay, that's about
And it's like
standard.
I guess it's like a studio, but like you don't really need like unless you have I mean, I don't know why you need like I don't even know why you need one bedroom versus studio, but
Mhm.
the
Mhm.
понимает по-русски?
Yeah.
Немного.
So hold on.
Or someone's asking if I
So
speak
how was
or if
the
I
but before
understand.
before we get to the language, what about the food? Like, what's the average
Uh,
price of a meal?
the food is really cheap. Like,
Mhm.
uh, what did a meal? Because I'm vegan, so my stuff is more expensive and it's still cheap.
Okay,
So let me see. I think I spent.
that's why you
Yeah, I
look
don't
so
think I
young,
spent
bro. You
more.
you on that vegan, you on the health.
Yeah, I don't think I spent more than like $30, like for two people. Like, I don't think I've spent more than that, like
Okay,
ever, like since I've been here. Like,
so
it's
dining out and everything is pretty reasonable over there.
yeah. Like, especially if you're just eating normal stuff. Like, if you want to go to high end, of course you can go high end. But even high end, like for our palate, we're not really, because like their kind of food is It's like a fusion food because you have like the food coming from China. Then they like a lot of horse meat here, a lot of like beef, and then
You said a lot of what now?
horse meat.
Horse meat. Oh,
Yeah.
whoa. Okay. Have you
So
ever
that's
ate
like
horse meat?
me, I never tried it. I wish I could
Oh,
try
you're
it, but
vegan,
I'm
so
vegan, so I would
right.
like.
I can only imagine. Like that's got to be. I can't do that. I can't eat no horse.
And that's what everyone like says, but like because I'm vegan now, I joke because I say it's animals are animals, so why can't you? What's the
Right.
difference?
Oh, no, I just can't eat a horse, man. That's
I
crazy.
mean,
That's like me eating a
Korean
cat or a
restaurants have
dog. It's
dog meat.
just. I mean, if I had to, I would, but I'm like,
Yeah,
horse.
Korean
Yeah.
restaurants here have dog meat. You have to say the
Oh my
password, but
goodness.
you have dog
Yeah,
meat.
right.
So because
Right,
there's
man.
actually a big Korean community here, also in like, which is it's so strange because like they don't even speak Korean because they've been in Kazakhstan for so long. Like they don't have that like tie to Korea. They're just ethnically Korean.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So similar to how African Americans are. Like we're not really
Yeah,
tied to Africa.
yeah,
Pretty much Black Americans, but
yeah.
something similar to that. Okay.
Because yeah, this whole land was not, it was just like nomadic people, so everyone just moved around. The Soviet Union is what caused like all these lines to be separated. So there's a lot of actual
Mm-hmm.
Kazakh people who are in China.
Mm-hmm.
So they speak Kazakh and also Chinese, but they're Chinese citizens, not Kazakhstan citizens.
Mm-hmm.
And years ago, like this land, because I actually 2 weeks ago I went to, they have a free trade zone
Mm-hmm.
for Kazakhstan and China, and you stamp out of the country, but you don't stamp into China. So it's kind of like this neutral zone, and you can actually buy products from China for like really cheap, but you can only bring about like 31 kilos. So it's like basically like a check bag's worth of products back with you. Otherwise, you have to pay like taxes or something like that. But this part of Kazakhstan and China is like they're like in the ancient, I don't even say ancient because it's not that long ago. They just kind of like walked across this, and just took their cattle here and did things there. But it was all these lines of like politics that kind of cut people off.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And what's like the language there, the dominant language there?
So you have the Kazakh language, which is based. It's a Turkic language, and then Russian is kind of like was it lingua franca? Yeah, I think it's the right word, So pretty much Russian will get you by in all of in um, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure about Turkmenistan, probably, and then like Azerbaijan and
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
So,
Oh, is that?
but you speaking primarily English? Do they speak any English? Because I know the girl that I was dating in Thailand from there. She spoke fluent English, basically.
Yeah. This is probably, so I went to Brazil and it was so hard to get by with English in Brazil, but here like they speak better English. I'm like, what? How are you learning English? There's like they're
The
like on it.
university.
Yeah, they're on it. Like they're like I don't have
Mm-hmm.
to, like they're on it, but like I'll go to countries that are like closer to the United States or like are more kind of like first world and or closer to us, and I have more trouble using English, like there than here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember being in that conversation, and this is why I came back to Colombia to really get on my Spanish.
Yeah.
We was in a dispensary. It was me, her, and two other Russian cats, and they all spoke English for the most part. Yeah, they all pretty much spoke English. And they came around. They was like, "Yeah, I speak 3 languages." And she's like, "Yeah, I speak 3 languages as well." And the other guy was like, "Yeah, I speak 5 languages." And I'm like, "Dang, here come to me." And they're like, "Yeah, Aaron, how many languages you speak?" And I'm like, "Shit, you know what I'm saying?" Like, I speak 1 language, bro. Like most Americans speak 1 language. They was like, "Oh, okay, that's cool." I'm like, I gotta learn at least 2 more languages. I gotta at least learn Spanish. I want to learn Portuguese, and I also want to learn an Asian language. I want to give a shout out to Mr. Travolta. He asked, "Daryl, how do you support yourself traveling?"
I
Appreciate the super
just
chat, by the way, Mr. Travolta.
yeah. I just work. I just have like my normal job, but I'm like I do IT, so I'm more flexible. And since
Mm-hmm.
I live in the Middle East, so for
Mm-hmm.
me, these trips are not like crossing the whole earth. Like if you're coming from stateside to get over here, I think you could either do Qatar Airways, um, Emirates, or Lufthansa. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, for me, like coming to Kazakhstan is 4 hours, so it's not a big deal. And then like Azerbaijan's 2 hours. So that's the main motivation how I ended up coming to these countries in the first place was just because I was tired of seeing the same country like over and over and over, and then like I want to see somewhere new.
Okay, okay. I want to give a shout out to my man Jay Clyde, man. Shout out to you, Jay Clyde. He said, salute. I have a homie that's an MMA fighter, and he had a fight in Kazakhstan. He told me some stories of that place. There's a lot of MMA fighting over there.
Um, I know for sure it's boxing, but there's probably yeah, no, yeah, there is MMA because on my flight sometimes, like I live in Kuwait. Somebody asked, yeah, I live in Kuwait. So when I fly from Kuwait, there'll be people coming back on the same route coming from Abu Dhabi if they have like those, martial arts events in Abu
Mm-hmm.
Dhabi. So I'll see them with all their gear, like all their fight gear and stuff like that, like going back
Mm-hmm.
and forth. Yeah, like fighting is big, like boxing and like MMA.
Okay, okay. We got 88 in the room, guys. Do me a favor and hit that like button. I want to thank Daryl D for coming on the show and giving us all this good information. Now I gotta ask you, bro. How is the dating over there? Do you date over there? Like, how is the relationship getting over there?
So it's actually really nice. Like
Okay.
you get like that positive attention, like you can actually like showcase yourself.
Hmm.
You could go normal, like bringing flowers to a girl is normal here.
Hmm.
Like it's not like a thing where it's like, oh, he brought me flower, oh, he's soft, oh, he's something like that. So you could actually bring
Right.
flowers. You could it's like I don't even say it's like you can, it's like almost expected to do these things. Like, okay, like these nice gestures. It's like kind of like the old fashioned in that way. Like you take them to dinner, you go like nice places, something like that. But even the ones who are kind of more like study English and they kind of get that a little bit more westernized, they're not so expecting of it, but still you can like talk and you know just be yourself. Like you don't have to do like a whole game. There's still girls. I had plenty of dates where it was like, like bad. I felt like I was in America again. But um, I would say that's like 80% you could live that like, normal traditional way and actually like enjoy yourself, have like a nice date, take her out somewhere. And then because it's not so expensive here, you could actually, kind of like up your game a little bit.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. And what's like the dating apparatus out there? Do you do more cold approach, or do you use Tinder, or there like little specific
Um,
date nights, or is it like a nightclub type atmosphere? We can go to bars and nightclubs.
You could use all of them. So with
Mhm.
Tinder, the only problem is that they don't believe you're like in Kazakhstan. Like
Mhm.
either they don't believe you're in Kazakhstan or they don't believe you're American.
Mhm.
So if you get over that like hump, then the Tinder is okay because the like it's not one. So like if you use Tinder in Bangkok or something like that, it's so bad because you have all the of this other community, so many of those you have to weed through. And then fake like profiles, but here you don't even get fake profile because no one would think to make a fake profile here. So it's like
Mhm.
like there's no reason to make it. So there's still a few like little ones on there, but like for the most part, it's like all real like profiles, and then you
Mhm.
kind of just like filter through, and then like being a black person, it's like you're so exotic, like you're in demand, so you get that attention like I have to get used to when I walk around, like eyeballs are on me like all the time.
Mhm.
So I had to kind of like turn off that sixth sense
Now, are
because
you
I'm so used
are,
to
are
having
you bigger than the people? Because I noticed when I'm kind of out and about, even in Colombia, like I stick out, people staring at me. There's other blacks around, so I just think
yeah,
that maybe because I'm taller than the average person.
yeah. Um, Yeah, most of the time I say on average I'm bigger. There's still I see plenty of guys who are bigger than me, but on average I'm bigger than most of the people.
Hmm. Hmm. Is it more of a like? So you pretty much the only Afro person, black person around. Uh,
Yeah.
is it more of a curious thing, or is it kind of like a what you doing here type
No, it's more curious. I never really get like the negative
of thing?
um like no one's kind of like, because like in Rome somebody like bumped into me like hard, like they bumped
Hmm.
into like and here it's like the opposite. Like they want to talk to me, they want to take pictures, they want to like shake my hand, ask me questions,
Hmm.
like they want to buy me drinks, they want to do like
Hmm.
so that's why I said like you could do like all these three approaches. Like you could use Tinder, you could go like to a nightclub, you can cold approach. I guess with cold approach, I guess you would need to know some Russian. I mean, you
Hmm.
might not need to actually, but it would probably be better if you know Russian or
Hmm.
Kazakh. And then also
And
if you learn like Kazakh words, it's like more, they're like, wow, like like these words like wow.
hmm. Okay, and I'm pretty sure the weather is pretty cold out there year round, or
Um, it's continental weather, so if it's summertime, it's hot. Springtime, like nice weather. Winter
Mhm.
is like real winter, and then fall is like really beautiful because like all the trees have like the actual orange. Yeah, so it's continental. Like you have the exact like four seasons, like almost like clockwork. Like you can predict.
Okay, and so all the 30 countries that you've been to, if you had to permanently live in one, make that your primary base, what
Mm.
country would you choose right
Uh, it's hard to pick one as a base,
now?
because I mean, if I could choose, I'd probably pick Malaysia.
Shout out to my man Thomas Brown. He's been out here the last couple of Mondays.
Because Asia is just such like a good base, and then you can hit so many countries, within a few hours,
Hmm.
and you're right kind of like in that area. But my base, what I want to do is have like, one like Dubai or UAE at least, and
Hmm.
then Kazakhstan, and then and then Malaysia is kind of like my plan. Like if I could start like and it would be Malaysia, but it will be like Kazakhstan is my base now pretty much, but I would want Malaysia to be my base.
Okay, and so you pretty much Malaysia considered to be Southeast Asia, right? That's like Southeast Asia.
Yeah.
So why do you choose over there more so than Brazil and South America and the Caribbean and Latin countries?
I'm actually pretty new to like South America. Like my first time I hit Brazil and Peru like in the same trip.
Hmm.
And um I mean like they were both nice, but I just feel like I'm so far away from like
Hmm.
a lot of places. I didn't even realize like when I flew to Brazil, I flew from LAX and I'm thinking, it's gonna be and I'm like 12 hours. Like it's so far, but because you just look at the map, you just think North America, South America, so they must be next to each other. So it's so close. And then just think I feel like so I mean there's still so many countries in South America, but
Hmm.
I just feel isolated from going to different regions. Whereas like on this side of the world, it's like if you pick like a middle, like I'm in the Middle East, so I can go to Europe, I could go to Asia, I can go to Africa. Like I feel more, I guess, flexible in that way.
Okay. Okay. That's what's up, man. Let me we already covered what type of hat you was wearing. Dorothy got can you remind us again the type of hat?
Kalpak.
Hmm. Okay. All right. I got Thomas Brown over there in Malaysia, and he's really enjoying Malaysia. Um, have you been to Cambodia?
I'm hoping to go. I got my visa, like the e-visa already approved. So I'm trying to
Mhm.
go next month. Just do like Phnom Penh and Laos, like, and Vietnam, like all on the same trip.
Mm-hmm. And do you ever see yourself living back in the United States, or you know, like
A
full
year
time
ago,
again?
a
Mm-hmm.
year ago, I thought I was gonna go back, but now I'm doing everything I can to not go back. Like, I'll still own property in the States, like to rent out, but like for myself, probably
Mm-hmm.
not. Oh,
You know, it's so funny, man, because I guess guys don't really understand. Like a lot of brothers is just not trying to go back to America. You know, like it's like moving backwards to a certain degree.
yeah, I can't do it because I tried to, because I lived overseas before, like multiple time, and I was always itching to go back home. And then after all this, stuff with the, what was it, 2019 to 20 whatever stuff happened, and I'm like, man, I can't go back. I can't do it. I can't go back.
Hmm. Yeah, man, it's like and it's not even about the women. You know, people always think it's about the women. That's like the big tagline for the passport bros. Oh, they just want to go get submissive women and all. No, it's about the lifestyle that you can afford to
Yeah,
live overseas.
yeah, because that US dollar, like, you go to other place, like I just changed currency, so I'm looking at the exchange rate in Uzbekistan. If I change my US dollar, I don't lose. I barely lost any money if I change it over. But I changed
Mhm.
my Kazakh tenge, is their currency, and I changed it over, and it almost cut in half when I changed when I changed this currency to their currency. Like, damn, but the and people always trying to, like, give me prices in US dollars. I'm like, I don't carry dollars on me because I just get the ATM straight, like in that currency. But just knowing, like, okay, that US dollar stretches in other country. I visited home for 2 weeks, and I'm like, man, like, I'm spending so much money. I'm just here, like, like, I don't want to go back.
Man, it's so people don't understand. Like when you visit home, you're spending probably 4 or 5 times the amount to just kind of for the first week or two. You're
Yeah,
spending so much more money than what you usually budget your money for. Like trip to
yeah,
the States is
mhm,
super expensive. You gotta get your
yeah,
flight. I mean, ride from the airport like $50 to $100. Your
yeah,
Airbnb gonna be about $1,000 for five
yeah,
days. It's just like, bro, that's my
yeah,
whole expense account in for a month in Colombia. Like, why would I even
yeah.
want to even,
Yeah, it's
so
miserable. Like, every time it's miserable because people ask me all the time, "When you coming home?" I said, "I don't." Like, you're insulting me by asking me when I'm coming home
but they don't
because
understand that. They don't understand that. It's just like
yeah,
that question is such a like when you come home, I'm like, I am home.
yeah, I can't
Like
do it.
I'm home. I'm a global citizen.
Yeah,
Wherever I lay my rest my roots in Southeast Asia.
yeah,
It's like it's like going back, and I'm not gonna call this. I know this is probably gonna go viral. What I'm about to say. I'm not calling America a plantation, but but is very closely related to a plantation. Just the
yes,
behavior of a lot of the people, that
yeah,
crab mentality, that crab
yeah,
behavior, the expensiveness of it, and
yeah,
the options that you have of it. Like
yeah,
just it's just too much. And once you get outside of it, it's like when you ask somebody if they coming back, you're literally asking them, "You coming back to the plantation?" It's like
yeah,
hell to the no, I'm not going back to.
yeah. I mean,
You
it's still
know,
like America's still the best place to make money, but I wanna use that money somewhere else. Like,
it's
I
the
don't,
best place in the world. We are. I tell people, Americans, especially Black Americans, are in a
yeah,
very unique situation.
yeah,
We're in a very unique situation, right? Because
yeah,
we have access to the financial uh, empire of the world, basically.
mhm,
And we speak the king's language, which is English. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? People are going to school around the world to speak English so they can get a job, American job, basically, in
yeah,
order to get American dollars. They
yeah,
have this whole process like that. So we already have an advantage starting out the gate by just being American, but we
yeah,
don't. We have a disadvantage if we stay in America,
yeah,
right?
yes,
And this is this is what always gets glossed over for the passport bro. Because the passport bros is just, oh, these guys that can't get American women, they traveling overseas. No, it's like, bro, I can make a quarter of the money that I have to make in America, and I have more time to do what I enjoy to do
mhm,
outside of the States. In the States, you're working 14, 17 hours a day. 50, 60 hours a week, and then your mortgage or your rent, 2,000, 3,000. It's just like, for what? You go out, take a young lady out, you spending $200, $250,
that's already
$100, and then you just guy number one. She got 6 other guys that she met on Tinder that week. So it's just a bunch of bullshit, man. It's like, no, I'm good. We out of here. You know what I'm saying? And the cool thing is, now you're seeing guys form these little expat communities. Now, that's not for everybody. You got guys that like to do, the solo thing. Totally get it. I'm like that to a certain degree myself.
Yeah.
But it's cool that okay, in Pattaya, you got brothers out there. In Pattaya, got a whole little brotherhood. You got businesses.
Yeah.
You link up, touchdown. The vibes, energy is great. I can go to Sweet Georgia. Colombia, Medellin. Holla at them. Just these little expat communities are starting to form with these passport bros, and that makes it even more comfortable to get outside the states. And then it's the type of guys that are doing this.
Yeah.
Yourself, ex-military, IT guys, YouTubers, digital nomads, entrepreneurs. These guys, we have like a certain mindset. You know what I'm saying? So that's the good things, man. But you're right though. It's a triggering question when somebody asks, when you coming back home? I'm like, I am.
No. It's like, I'm not coming back.
And I do get, you're gonna get homesick sometimes. I get homesick every now and then. I miss the hell out of my family, of course. But it's just like, man, you just don't understand what it really feels like to be moving and shaking as a black man in America. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it can get crossed up real fast, not only from general racism, but just by your own people.
Yeah.
Like I was in a barrio not too far. And the barrios and favelas are pretty much safe because they got rules from the bosses, basically, like no stealing, no killing, and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
You check in and you're good for the most part. But I was telling a friend of mine, I was like, in Atlanta, if you get more than like 100 black people in the same area, there's gonna be some shooting.
Yeah.
It's a high probability that somebody gonna get shot.
Yeah.
I want to give a shout out to Andre Brooks with the $200 top bot. Shout out to you out there in Thailand. I love living overseas. Never want to go back to the U.S. Shout out to you, Andre Brooks. All right. Well, we come on that hour. I'm trying to keep the interviews around, an hour long, man. Anything you'd like to say in closing? Any information or details you'd like to give out to Passport Bros?
Yeah. Just for people to come to Kazakhstan. Well, not only Kazakhstan, just like Central Asia in general. I haven't been to Tajikistan yet, but I can at least say, okay, you'll be good in Tashkent. You'll be good in Almaty, Kazakhstan. You'll be good in Baku, Azerbaijan. Where else did I go?
Man, you should do consultations, bro. Real talk. Like you in an area where nobody else is at. So I'm pretty sure you got the information.
Yeah.
I forgot to ask you safety. Like safety, 1 out of 10. Is it safe out there? Is it sketchy or?
I would have to say, I can't really think of anything dangerous. You have like scammers like at the airport trying to like get you to go on like the taxi, and overcharge you. But as far as safety, because I don't really drink alcohol like that, so I don't know if maybe they do stuff in the clubs or anything like that. But I haven't heard anything, like foreigners stuff happening to them or whatever. At least, because I've been here so many times, like alone, and nobody stepped to me or anything like that.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's safe. Yeah. Even at night, I walk around 2 a.m. Like this is good.
All right. Okay. I want to do a show with you, Flight Madness, my man Thomas Brown, and Richie Mack. My Southeast Asian guys, Passport Bros. Just do a live panel. Just chop it up on just different information, different aspects of actually living in Southeast Asia. Because I love Southeast Asia. I love it. I love Thailand. I love Cambodia. I haven't been to Malaysia, but my next trip out there, Next year, I'm gonna touch it down in Malaysia, Vietnam, the Philippines, Laos. I just want to move around because it is dope, man. Like, you know, when I was in Cambodia and I was in immigration, bro, you know, the women, bro, they were just choosing so heavy. Bro. It was literally just arguing over a brother. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just crazy. Just like, wow. I don't understand why guys don't want to experience this shit. Like it's like you just flip the whole script.
Yeah.
You know?
That's what I feel like. I would say I feel like the girl. Like when I come out here, I'm like, oh, now this is what girls feel like. Like all girls feel like this all the time. And I'm like, oh, no.
you be a little nervous because you see them staring at you, just like staring at me.
That's
like
why girls are crazy because they get all this attention. Like,
you know, like they are, and it's funny because I've seen some little YouTube videos, and I don't even be responding half the time. I respond every now and then. I might do a little reaction, but it might be a guy to say they don't like black people or they don't like black dudes in Thailand, and I just be like, really? Okay, you know, I'm gonna let you roll with that. maybe dudes will say that so less brothers would travel out to Southeast Asia. I'm assuming. I know it's one YouTuber that he's a black YouTuber, but he hates black dudes, right? So he's always putting negative energy and negative videos out. I ain't gonna say his name. He's a punk, but he's always putting this negative. I mean, he makes black men look terrible. He has a couple subscribers and shit. Yeah. And he does that so black men won't travel because he wants to be the only black guy in the Philippines. You know what I'm saying? He don't want more black men traveling up. But the thing is, the reason I do these IT shows, tech shows, these crypto shows, is because I try to attract a certain type of black man overseas. You know what I'm saying? I try to invite a certain type of crowd. You know, that's why I don't do like the hidden cams and show all the girls, because that's going to attract all types of people, right?
Yeah, that's awesome.
I try to, attract a certain crowd because this passport bro thing, we want to keep it clean, clean cut for the most part. Let me catch super chat real quick. By no guarantee for the file super chat. He said, BMT does the guest work IT for a Kaz company.
So I'm like a government contractor, military contractor. So I get paid in USD and then partially in Kuwaiti dinar. But I just use that like Kuwaiti dinar to pay my expenses in Kuwait. So I'm pretty much paid in USD.
Okay, cool. Well, once again, brother, I appreciate you coming on the show, man. We're going to definitely do another panel. I'm going to hit you up.
Okay.
All right. Peace, bro.
All right. Good.
Y'all haven't downloaded the app yet? Y'all go download the Passportbros app, man. Shout out to BMT. Shout out to the Passportbros, man. This is something special. Everybody should get on it. We got our own social network now.
All right, man, look, I don't know, y'all missing out, man. Look, if you want any information, if you want to be a part of a community, be a part of like a brotherhood, man, and people watch out for you, whereas entrepreneurs, YouTubers, or anything you really want to get into, man, y'all need to download that app, man, Passportbros.
Only Passportbros app, download it, BMT, dropping a platform for everybody to be social on. So get that, copy that.
All right, man, it's your boy Average Man Unplugged. Make sure you hit the Passportbros app. We got all our content on there. We got our own network now, you guys, all right? So go check that out, man. Passportbros app. Make sure you download it.